The vast emptiness of space stretched out before the Magellan, Earth's most advanced deep space survey vessel. Its sleek hull gleamed in the dim starlight as it silently cruised through the Kuiper Belt, pushing the boundaries of human exploration further than ever before. On the bridge, Captain Sarah Hawkins leaned forward in her chair, her dark eyes fixed on the main viewscreen. "Status report, Mr. Chen," she ordered, her voice calm but tinged with anticipation. Lieutenant David Chen's fingers danced across his console. "All systems nominal, Captain. We're approaching the outer edge of the Kuiper Belt. No anomalies detected so far." Captain Hawkins nodded, a small smile playing at the corners of her mouth. This mission represented years of planning and technological advancement. They were literally going where no human had gone before, and the weight of that responsibility sat heavily on her shoulders. Suddenly, an alarm blared through the bridge. Chen's eyes widened as he frantically scanned his readings. "Captain, we're detecting an unknown signal. It's not one of ours." The bridge fell silent, the implications of Chen's words hanging in the air. Captain Hawkins took a deep breath, steeling herself. "Analysis, Mr. Chen. What are we dealing with?" Chen's fingers flew over his console. "The signal is unlike anything in our database, Captain. It's structured, complex, definitely artificial." "Are you saying?" Hawkins trailed off, almost afraid to voice the thought. Chen turned to face her, his expression a mix of excitement and disbelief. "Yes, Captain. I believe we've just detected our first alien transmission." The news spread through the Magellan like wildfire. Within minutes, the ship's lead scientist, Dr. Amelia Chen, no relation to the lieutenant, burst onto the bridge. Her glasses were slightly askew, and her usually immaculate lab coat was rumpled, clear signs she'd rushed from her quarters. "Is it true?" she demanded, her eyes bright with excitement. "Have we really detected an alien signal?" Captain Hawkins nodded, gesturing to the main view screen where a complex waveform now danced. "It appears so, Doctor. Think you can make sense of it?" Dr. Chen approached the screen, her eyes darting back and forth as she analyzed the pattern. "It's beautiful," she whispered. "Complex, but there's a clear structure. This isn't random noise. It's a message." For the next several hours, Dr. Chen worked tirelessly, poring over the alien transmission. The bridge crew watched in awe as she muttered to herself, scribbling notes and running simulations on her tablet. Finally, she looked up, her face flushed with triumph. "I've done it," she announced. "I've decrypted the basics of their language matrix." Captain Hawkins leaned forward. "What does it say, Doctor?" Dr. Chen took a deep breath. "It's an invitation, Captain. They're inviting us to make contact." The news of first contact sent shockwaves through human civilization. Governments scrambled to form unified responses, religious leaders sought to reconcile their teachings with this new reality, and the public alternated between excitement and fear. As the Magellan made its way back to Earth, carrying its monumental discovery, the planet began to prepare. A crash course in xenodiplomacy was hastily put together, drawing experts from fields as diverse as linguistics, anthropology, and game theory. Dr. Amelia Chen found herself thrust into the spotlight. Her groundbreaking work in decrypting the alien message made her the foremost expert on communicating with the extraterrestrial visitors. However, the sudden attention was overwhelming for the introverted scientist. "I don't understand," she confided to Captain Hawkins during a rare quiet moment. "Why me? I'm a linguist, not a diplomat. Surely there are better candidates to represent Earth." Hawkins placed a comforting hand on Amelia's shoulder. "You cracked their language, Amelia. You understand them in a way no one else does. Plus, your honesty and directness might be exactly what we need. Sometimes the best diplomats are those who never intended to be diplomats at all." As the day of the aliens' arrival approached, the world held its breath. Military forces were placed on high alert, not out of aggression, but as a precaution. Scientists around the globe worked around the clock, preparing questions and hypotheses about what they might learn. Finally, The day arrived. A sleek, silver ship, unlike anything ever seen on Earth, descended from the sky. It landed gracefully in a predetermined location, a neutral site agreed upon by the world's nations. Dr. Amelia Chen stood at the forefront of the welcoming committee, her heart pounding in her chest. As the ship's hatch began to open, she took a deep breath, reminding herself of everything she'd learned, everything she'd prepared for. A tall, slender figure emerged from the ship. Its body was covered in iridescent scales that shimmered in the sunlight. Multiple arms extended from its torso, ending in delicate, multi-fingered hands. Its head was elongated, with large, almond-shaped eyes that seemed to take in everything at once. Amelia stepped forward, her voice steady despite her nerves. She spoke the greeting she had practiced countless times, her pronunciation carefully modulated to match the alien language she had deciphered. The alien's eyes widened in surprise, and then it responded, its voice a melodious trill that sent shivers down Amelia's spine. She listened intently, her mind racing to translate. "Greetings, people of Earth," the alien said. "We are the Zarkax, and we come in peace. We have long observed your world from afar, watching your progress with great interest. Now we believe the time has come for our civilizations to meet." Amelia translated for the benefit of those around her, her voice filled with wonder. As she finished, she realized that this moment, right here, was the beginning of a new era for humanity. Whatever came next, nothing would ever be the same. The alien extended one of its hands towards Amelia, a gesture unmistakably meant as a greeting. With a deep breath, Amelia reached out and took the alien's hand, marveling at the texture of its scales against her skin. In that simple touch, two worlds met, two civilizations connected, and the course of human history was forever altered. As cameras flashed and the world watched with bated breath, Dr. Amelia Chen, the accidental diplomat, took humanity's first step into a larger universe. The Galactic Council. Dr. Amelia Chen stood in front of her mirror, adjusting her newly issued uniform. The sleek, navy blue outfit with its silver piping felt strange on her frame, so different from her usual casual attire or lab coat. She took a deep breath, trying to calm her nerves. It had been 3 months since the Zarkax made first contact with Earth. 3 months of whirlwind negotiations, cultural exchanges, and preparation. Now, humanity was ready to take its first steps onto the galactic stage, and Amelia found herself thrust into the role of Earth's primary representative. A chime at her door startled her from her reverie. "Dr. Chen?" Captain Hawkins' voice came through the intercom. "It's time." Amelia gave herself one last look in the mirror, squared her shoulders, and headed out. The corridors of the newly christened Starship Emissary hummed with activity as the crew made final preparations for their journey. Captain Hawkins was waiting for her at the airlock. "Ready for this, Doctor?" she'd asked with a reassuring smile. Amelia nodded, not trusting her voice. Together, they boarded the Zarkax shuttle that would take them to the massive space station housing the Galactic Council. As they approached the station, Amelia's eyes widened in awe. The structure was colossal, a gleaming construct of metal and energy fields that dwarfed anything humanity had ever built. Ships of various designs and sizes swarmed around it like bees around a hive. Their Zarkax guide, who had introduced himself as Zelnak, noticed her amazement. "Impressive, isn't it?" he trilled. "The Galactic Council Station serves as neutral ground for over 200 spacefaring species. It's a place of diplomacy, trade, and cultural exchange." The shuttle docked smoothly, and as the airlock cycled, Amelia steeled herself. This was it. She was about to become the first human to set foot on the Galactic Council Station. As the doors hissed open, Amelia was hit by a cacophony of sights, sounds, and smells. Aliens of all shapes and sizes bustled about, their varied languages creating a symphony of communication. The air was filled with scents she couldn't begin to identify, some pleasant, others less so. Zelnak guided them through the crowded corridors, explaining as they went, "The station is divided into sectors, each maintained to suit the needs of different species. We're currently in a neutral zone, suitable for most oxygen breathers. Amelia nodded, her linguist's mind racing to catalogue the snippets of alien languages she overheard. Despite her nervousness, she couldn't help but feel a thrill of excitement. This was a linguist's dream come true. They arrived at a grand set of doors, ornately decorated with symbols Amelia didn't recognize. Zelnak turned to them. "This is the council chamber. The representatives are waiting inside. Remember, Dr. Chen, speak clearly and directly. The universal translators are good, but new ones can sometimes be lost." Amelia nodded, took a deep breath, and stepped forward as the doors swung open. The council chamber was a vast circular room. Tiered seating surrounded a central speaking platform, each section marked with different environmental controls to suit various species. Amelia's eyes darted from one alien form to another, marveling at the diversity before her. A tall, willowy being with luminescent skin stood as they entered. "Welcome, representatives of Earth," it said, its voice resonating oddly in the chamber. "I am High Counselor Lurian. We have been eagerly awaiting your arrival." Amelia stepped onto the speaking platform, acutely aware of all eyes and other sensory organs upon her. "Greetings, High Counselor, esteemed members of the Galactic Council," she began, her voice steady despite her nerves. "I am Dr. Amelia Chen, representing Earth. We are honored to be here and grateful for the opportunity to join the galactic community." As Amelia continued her prepared speech, she noticed various reactions among the council members. Some leaned forward with interest, others whispered among themselves. One particularly gruff-looking being that reminded her of a cross between a bear and a cactus seemed to be scowling, though she wasn't sure if that was its natural expression. When she finished, there was a moment of silence before the chamber erupted in a flurry of questions and comments. Amelia did her best to answer, drawing on her linguistic skills and the crash course in xenodiplomacy she received. Hours passed in a blur of introductions, explanations, and negotiations. By the time the session ended, Amelia's head was spinning with information overload. As they left the chamber, Captain Hawkins squeezed her shoulder. "You did well in there, Doctor. I think you've made quite an impression." Amelia managed a tired smile. "I hope so. It's all so overwhelming. There's so much to learn, so many protocols to navigate." Their conversation was interrupted by a commotion nearby. A group of aliens that looked like animated crystals were arguing heatedly with a delegation of what appeared to be sentient gas clouds contained in transparent spheres. Zelnak hurried over to them. "Please, let's not have any altercations. This is a peaceful station." One of the crystal beings turned to Amelia. "You, Earth being, surely you can see the logic in our position. The gaseous collective's expansion into the Orion Arm threatens the stability of the entire sector." Before Amelia could respond, one of the gas clouds pulsed angrily. "Nonsense. We have every right to colonize uninhabited systems. The Silicon Confederation is simply trying to restrict our growth." Amelia found herself caught in the middle of an interstellar dispute she barely understood. She looked to Zelnak for guidance, but he simply shrugged, as if to say, "Welcome to galactic politics." Taking a deep breath, Amelia decided to fall back on her academic training. "I'm afraid I don't have enough information to comment on your specific situation," she said carefully. "Perhaps we could arrange a time to discuss this further after I've had a chance to study the details." Her diplomatic non-answer seemed to mollify both parties, at least for the moment. As they moved on, Zelnak nodded approvingly. "Well handled, Dr. Chen. You're learning quickly." As they made their way to their assigned quarters, Amelia's mind raced. She had prepared herself for the scientific and linguistic challenges of this mission, but the complex web of galactic politics was something else entirely. She realized that her role here would involve far more than just facilitating communication. In her quarters, Amelia sat down heavily on her bed, her head swimming with the events of the day. She had come here as a linguist, expecting to bridge the gap between human and alien languages. Instead, she found herself thrust into the role of diplomat, mediator, and representative for all of humanity. As she gazed out her viewport at the swirling colors of a nearby nebula, Amelia felt the weight of responsibility settling on her shoulders. The decisions she made here, the relationships she forged, would shape humanity's place in the galactic community for generations to come. With a determined nod, she pulled out her datapad and began reviewing the information they'd been given about the various council members and their cultures. If she was going to represent Earth effectively, she had a lot to learn. As she worked late into the night cycle, Amelia couldn't help but feel a spark of excitement beneath her apprehension. She was at the forefront of the greatest adventure in human history, and despite the challenges ahead, she was ready to face them head-on. Human ingenuity unleashed. Alarms blared through the Galactic Council station, startling Amelia from her sleep. She rushed to the command center, finding it in chaos. Alien representatives argued in a cacophony of languages while emergency lights flashed. "What's happening?" Amelia asked Captain Hawkins, who looked grim. "The station's main reactor is destabilizing," Hawkins explained. "If it's not contained, the whole station could be destroyed." The bear cactus alien Amelia had noticed earlier stumped over. "Your primitive species can't help here. Human, stay out of the way." Amelia's eyes narrowed. She'd spent weeks studying the station's systems. "Actually, I might have an idea." Despite protests, Amelia explained her plan. It was risky, unconventional, but it just might work. Using principles from Earth's old fission reactors, they could create a makeshift containment field. As the crisis reached its peak, Amelia's solution was implemented. Tense moments passed as the reactor's energy fluctuated wildly. Then, gradually, it stabilized. The command center erupted in cheers. Aliens of all species congratulated Amelia, their earlier skepticism forgotten. High Counselor Lyrian approached, eyes gleaming. "Dr. Chen, you've saved countless lives today. Your species has proven its worth 100 times over." Amelia smiled, exhausted but proud. In that moment, she realized that humanity's unique perspective and problem-solving skills were their greatest asset in this vast, complex galactic community. As the crisis subsided, Amelia found herself surrounded by curious aliens, eager to learn more about human ingenuity. She had not only averted disaster but had also opened new doors for cooperation and exchange of ideas. The future looked brighter than ever for humanity's place among the stars. Conspiracy unveiled. Weeks after the reactor incident, Amelia noticed something odd. Despite Earth's contributions, certain council members seemed intent on limiting human involvement in galactic affairs. Suspicious, she began to investigate. Late one night, Amelia overheard a hushed conversation in an empty corridor. She recognized the voices of the bear cactus alien, Grox, and a silicon-based council member, Six. "The humans are advancing too quickly," Grox growled. "If we don't contain them now, they'll upset the balance of power." Six's crystalline form shimmered. "Agreed. We must ensure the trade restrictions remain in place. Keep them isolated." Amelia's heart raced. A conspiracy to keep Earth out of galactic affairs. She knew she had to act, but how? Over the next few days, Amelia carefully gathered evidence. She enlisted help from friendly aliens she befriended, including Zelnak and a gas cloud being named Whis. Together, they pieced together a trail of manipulated data, blocked communications, and secret meetings. The conspiracy ran deep, involving several influential council members. Amelia presented her findings to High Counselor Lyrian, who was shocked. "This is a serious accusation, Dr. Chen. We must tread carefully." At the next full council session, Amelia took the floor. With a steady voice, she laid out the evidence of the conspiracy. The chamber erupted into chaos as accusations flew. Grox lunged at Amelia, roaring in anger. Captain Hawkins intercepted him, showcasing human reflexes and strength. In the end, faced with irrefutable evidence, the conspirators confessed. They feared humanity's rapid advancement and adaptability, seeing it as a threat to the established order. High Counselor Lyrian's voice cut through the tumult. This council was founded on principles of unity and mutual growth. Fear and isolation have no place here. Earth has proven its worth and shall be welcomed as a full member of our galactic community. As the council voted overwhelmingly in favor of Earth's full inclusion, Amelia felt a wave of relief and pride. She had not only uncovered a conspiracy but had also secured humanity's place among the stars. The path ahead would not be easy, but Earth was now truly part of something greater than itself. And Amelia, the accidental diplomat, had played a crucial role in shaping her species' cosmic destiny. One evening, about a month after their return, Amelia stood on the balcony of her apartment, gazing up at the stars. The night sky looked different to her now. Each pinprick of light represented not just distant suns, but potential friends, allies, or trading partners. The galaxy had become both smaller and infinitely more vast. A chime from her communication device interrupted her reverie. It was a message from Selmak, who had remained on Earth as part of the first permanent alien delegation. Dr. Chen, the message read, "The Council has approved the establishment of Earth's first off-world colony. They're requesting your input on potential locations. It seems your adventures are far from over." Amelia smiled, a thrill of excitement running through her. A human colony on an alien world. The very idea would have seemed like science fiction just a year ago. Now it was the next logical step in humanity's journey to the stars. As she typed her reply, Amelia reflected on how far they'd come and how far they still had to go. The conspiracy they'd uncovered on the council station had been a stark reminder that the galaxy was not always a friendly place. There would be challenges ahead, threats to face, and difficult decisions to make. But Earth was not facing these challenges alone. They had allies now, friends among the stars, and they had something unique to offer, the irrepressible human spirit that had taken them from stone tools to spaceflight in the blink of cosmic eye. The next morning, Amelia stood before the United Nations General Assembly. Representatives from every nation on Earth sat before her, along with delegates from a dozen alien species. The eyes of the world, and beyond, were upon her. Distinguished representatives, she began, her voice steady and clear. We stand at a crossroads. The path ahead is not easy, but it is filled with unimaginable possibilities. We have been given a chance to shape not just the future of our world, but to play a role in the future of our galaxy. She gestured to the alien delegates. Our new friends have shown us wonders beyond imagining, but we have something to offer in return. Our diversity, our creativity, our indomitable will to explore and understand, these are humanity's gifts to the stars. As she continued her speech, outlining plans for scientific cooperation, cultural exchanges, and the expansion of human presence in space, Amelia felt a profound sense of hope. The road ahead would be challenging, but humanity was ready. They had faced the unknown and emerged stronger. They had proven their worth on the galactic stage. The dawn of a new era had truly begun. Humanity's future among the stars was bright, filled with endless possibilities. And Amelia Chen, the linguist who became an ambassador, who uncovered a conspiracy and secured her species' place in the cosmos, was ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. As she concluded her speech to thunderous applause, Amelia knew that this was just the beginning. The greatest adventure in human history was unfolding, and she was proud to be a part of it. Whatever the future held, humanity would face it together, reaching for the stars with hope, determination, and an unquenchable spirit of exploration.